Hello and welcome back. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of what we're gonna talk about today. First, gonna kind of react to the match as well as some player grades, whether or not I agree to them. Collapse lineup, and that's actually gonna be first, and an outlook on the rest of the league and whether or not we still have a chance to take the title. So overall, a good performance defensively, and that's really what kept us in the match long enough to take the lead. Offensively, still not great. Trent's goal was amazing. It was a hell of a hit. And without it, I believe we might have still come out with a draw rather than a win because there just wasn't enough creativity. And it's been the issue, I would say, over the past 2 to 3 years with this team. There's a lot of reliance on momentum and heart, but that just doesn't carry you through an entire season because that's going to fluctuate too much. But today, Jurgen actually did the right thing. He used his head and he changed up the lineup. And it sounds simple, but we've never seen this front three start a match before. And we haven't seen him, take the risk of sitting down some of the regular starters in the midfield just to change it up. Ryan Gravenberch had a really good game, and I think he was honestly a really good catalyst for the little bit of creativity that we had. But Cody Gakpo, um, it it was a surprise that he had that lineup, but I was really happy with it. And Cody Gakpo actually got way more involved than we've seen him been for a long time. And I believe he played on the left wing when he was at PSV Eindhoven, and really likes to cut back into the middle from that left side. Something that Luis Diaz likes to do as well when he's over there. But having the creativity come from both ends is really what I believe made this game successful as well. Not as much creativity as I'd like to see, but a step in the right direction. So let's go over to player grades really quick, if I can pull it up fast enough. So the app that I use to get these grades, it has Cody Gakpo as the player of the match. He was both, I guess, my player of the match, but also the worst player for me. And this is because up until that assist to Diogo Jota, he was making such bad decisions. He holds the ball way too long. He's had either opportunities where there's an offensive overload, and then he'll hold the ball and then try to take a shot, because there's nothing else left. He needs to be a lot quicker with his decision making and a lot better with who he chooses overall. So on the Liverpool side, Alisson Becker, he got a 6.5, and I'm inclined to agree with that. He should have stopped that goal from Castagna. Jarrell Kwanzaa, 7.5, overall pretty good. I would agree with it. Virgil van Dijk, 6.8. I think he deserves a little more than that. He was quiet, but he was solid. I think a solid 7 would have been what I would have gone with. Andy Robertson, he got a 7.6, and I would agree with that just based on his energy alone. The way he was getting up and down the field and getting into as many tackles as he was, I think that's deserving of a 7.6. Trent, 8.2. You can still tell that he's a little rusty because he's not getting involved as much as he's used to, as we're used to, but he's still producing. Amazing free kick goal. He's made some really good long passes as well. There were a few to um, Jota and Mo Salah, but they couldn't get onto the end of it. Joe Gomez, gave him a 6.1. I would give him a 6.5. I think that's a little harsh. Harvey Elliott, 7.9. He always comes on and he brings energy. And the difference between the other players and Harvey Elliott is Harvey Elliott one, it was his boyhood club, but he left the Fulham Academy to come to Liverpool, and I think he also feels the need to continuously earn his jersey. And I'm not saying that the other players don't think they need to earn their jersey, but there's a different feeling when you are playing for a club that you love and that you embody versus being a professional that happens to be on a really good team and maybe you like the club, but there's a difference when you love a club, when you love the team, because it's not just the guys in the locker room, it's not just the paycheck or the uniform, it's the culture around it, it's the fans, it's the city, the people, everyone involved. And I think that's what really separates Harvey Elliott from the rest. Um, I like him. I like him a lot. And I've lost my ratings. So after Harvey Elliott, we've got Endo. Endo was quiet, and that's good if he's our defensive midfielder. A quiet game is better than a noisy bad match. If he's quiet, it means he didn't do terrible. He didn't do great. He got a 7.3 here, and I, I'm I'm okay with that. He he's very reserved, and I think I don't know if that's a mixture of Klopp kind of dampening his responsibilities. I know he had a little more freedom when he played it in Germany, and I'd like to see that come out a bit more. You know, he's over 30. He's got lots of experience. It took him a while to adjust to the pace and the physicality of the Premier League, but now he's settled. I'd like to see him take a step more into that next dimension of his game that we know he has. And perhaps that's, one of Klopp's things that he needs to work on as well, into the rest of the season. Don't play so rigid. Um, Add room for creativity where, strategy can be manipulated by the players. Sometimes it's too straightforward. You're sitting there watching it and you know where the players want to go with the ball, who they want to get it to. And against good teams, that just doesn't work. I'll talk about that in a second. So Luis Diaz, a 6.9, he was a little quiet. Um, Inclined to agree only because he set himself a pretty high standard lately of his contributions. Jota, a 7.8. That goal was almost identical to the one that he hit against Tottenham for the tie. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but that left that left-sided left foot goal into the bottom right corner, it's becoming kind of a staple in his arsenal. Darwin Nunez, I think it was right to bench him. He got a 6.0 here. He was offside, bad decision making when he had the ball. I love Darwin Nunez. He definitely needs to he needs to be taken and placed into the lineup as he performs. Klopp is sometimes a little too loyal, and it ends up hurting us because if Mo isn't producing or Darwin isn't producing for I'd say maximum 2 matches, then you got to put someone else in there. You don't wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches like Jurgen does, and he sticks to his go-to guys, and they get stuck, and we don't always get the results that we want. Darwin got a 6, Mo with a 6.3. Yeah, I agree with those. Um, Overall, like I said, good performance. And I think this creativity issue is why we struggle against big teams. I don't know if we don't have a good result against top six teams, and we've seen that even against teams in other leagues. When when we come against a stronger opponent, we don't compete very well. We can win these types of games against Fulham, who's lower on the table, but you're not going to win a league only beating middle to bottom half teams. We need wins more consistently against good teams, and it's frustrating. I think, I, okay, this can't be taken out of context, but I'm glad Jurgen is leaving now. Only because one, I don't know if it's a generational thing or an age thing, but Jurgen, he takes way too long to make his adjustments, and I think that suits the pace more of an international manager job because of how much time you have between matches. He doesn't make the necessary key adjustments until it's too late. Last year, moving to a box midfield, that was way too late in the season to make a huge difference. Um, but he did it overall. I mean, he made the adjustment, which is better than nothing, I guess. So, at Ruben Amorim, he's known more as being a quiet manager. I haven't watched any of his matches or highlights, anything like that. But what I've read is that he's more of a quiet manager who relies on IQ and strategy rather than momentum and feeling and drive uh, to win matches. And he's been successful. He's won. I think he's back-to-back champions in the Portuguese league. And in order to have a successful coach at this level, they have to have won somewhere else. We've seen Xabi Alonso do it in Germany. He's staying in Bayer Leverkusen. Good for him. I think that's a good decision as he continues to develop. Amarin, he's proved it twice already, and I believe he worked with Luis Diaz, so that would be nice because there was recent information coming out that he wanted to go to Barcelona, or his dad made a comment that he would want to go to Barcelona after Liverpool, and he's not getting any younger, so that would be sooner than later, if it's true. Um, Before we close out, some of the matches that the top three in the table of the Premier League, what they have coming up right now. Arsenal, they play Chelsea, Tottenham, Bournemouth, Man U, Everton, Man U again, and then against us, Liverpool. I believe that they have the hardest schedule for the remainder of the season, which is why I'm hopeful that they will drop quite a few points, giving us the opportunity to take that lead at top of the table. Chelsea's hitting some decent form. So is Man U. They just won today against Coventry City, but I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't have gone to penalties, but it's a win. So that's good for momentum. Man City plays Brighton, Forest, Wolves, Fulham, Tottenham, and West Ham. I think they have the easiest schedule. And, we're gonna have to hope for a few draws. I don't think they're gonna lose any of those. We can hope for a draw. And the rest of our schedule, so we play Everton on Wednesday for the derby. Um, West Ham, then Tottenham. I'm predicting that the Premier League will give us that win just as a makeup call um, for the debacle early in the season. So I'll say that again. I think that is an automatic 3 points. Then we play Aston Villa and Wolves. So can we still win the league? I don't know. We'll see. There's a chance.